In this video, we're going to continue with the basics of GIMP, and we're going to take it slow and nice and easy so that everyone can follow. If you're more expert, you can just jump ahead and go to the following video lessons. Otherwise, just stick with us and we're going to see everything little by little, step by step, and we're going to increase a little bit the difficulty video by video. Now, in the previous video, we also talked about formats and files, and we are sticking to this file menu, and we're going to continue here as well. So we're going to do really simple example to understand better the formats and the differences. So we're going to create here a new file. We're going to just go to new, and it's going to be a standard file. So I'm just going to reset everything so that it's going to be default, and I'm going to say OK. Now this is a black screen by default, and we can see that we can open images in other files, like by going into file and opening. So I can open from here, I can open recent files. So let's open a recent file here. So you can see this is going to go into another document. But what if I want to bring here some stuff and I want to create a composition? And well, in that case, I need more files and I'm going to use more layers. And I want to show you also the difference between the source and the final image. So the source file can be always modified, can be manipulated, and you can retrieve your work. You can continue your work after you close it and reopen. While the final image file that you save is not going to be editable. So I cannot edit this text, for example. I cannot change the color of the text or the size, and I cannot change the images. So this is the final product. So let's see how we can create a source file and a final product, and with different formats like JPG if we don't want to use a transparent background, or PNG if we want to use the alpha channel, which is the transparent background. So if I want to bring something in here, I can go to file again, and instead of opening, because it's going to just create a new document, if I go to open here again, let's open here a PNG, you can see this is another document. So it's not this one here, it's just creating more windows, more views. And this is the transparent background as it appears when you bring it in GIMP. So it's going to appear like a checkerboard, meaning that there's no image in there, there's nothing, so you can see behind in that point. So instead of using open or open recent, we can do open as layers. So this is going to create new layers for our composition. So if I go here and I say, okay, I want to open, let's say I want to open an image like the image from a previous lesson here. So I'm going to open. Okay, so this is going to go above the background. So if we now take a look to the layers panel, which it's really important, and we're going to do other lessons on this, but let's keep it simple again. So what we see here is a series of layers that are going to be one on top of the other. So if I click and drag this background on top of this image, the background is going to override everything, and I will not be able to see what's behind. Again, if I click and drag, same thing for the image that's in the front. So we can arrange layers. We can turn off and on layers by using this little eye icon. And I can also move this one here a little bit. So if you select the move tool, which is the first one here in the toolbar, and you click and drag, you're gonna move your image. So when I move my image, I can see now the background. If I turn off the background, it's going to be a transparent background. So it will use an alpha channel if I save this in PNG. But I'm going to save later, just showing you how you can create a quick composition. So let's say that I have a background and I want to bring this a little bit lower like this. Now, before we continue, I want to show you some extra stuff that you find in the interface, in the workspace area. So you have this little button to, again, access the file menu and the other drop-down menus in case you need something quicker. Then you have the rulers, which are now showing pixels. So if I go down here, we can see that the units we're using, it's pixels, but I can change this into inches or feet, whatever you want to use, and they're gonna change accordingly. So right now I'm gonna stick with the pixels. And also, if you see here, this is the zoom percentage. So right now we are not seeing the full picture here. We are seeing just a portion, and it's not at its best. It's 66.7%. So if I click on this little arrow right here, I can change the zoom setting. So let's say that I want to see everything. I want to have the complete picture of what I'm doing. I can click here on 50%. So I'm going to zoom out, and I can see now the borders. I can see the edges of my document. I can see the image here that has been moved. And so I can work more comfortably in many situations. Now, if I want to see instead the full resolution, I need to go to 100%. So you can see that it's so big that it cannot fit here in the workspace. It's going to take the whole screen, because right now I'm using Full HD and I'm using a Full HD resolution in my computer screen. So I cannot see everything in this smaller workspace in the middle. But what I can do is move around using these bars. So I can click and go up and down, or right to left, or left to right, wherever. So since I cannot fit everything in here, I need to move around. But I can zoom and see some details using the zoom, and perhaps higher and higher. And if I go like 800%, you can already now see the pixels that can be distinguished. Okay, now let's go back to 50% so we can see the whole picture that we're doing, the whole composition. Now, another tool that could be handy if we go here to File is to create. So we created in the other video, in the previous video, we created a file and capturing an entire web page. Now, another interesting thing to do is to copy and paste from the clipboard. So every time you use Control C or you copy something, wherever, like from your from a website or from your computer, and you want to bring it in here, you can use Control C, and then you come back here and you do from clipboard. Now I'm going to show you a couple of differences in copying and pasting, and also in creating from the clipboard. Now we already saw the screenshot feature, and if you have also a scanner or a camera connected, you can extract assets from there. So let's go now in our web page. So I'm going to open up a browser, and this is the, again, GIMP website. So I want to get something from here. Now you can copy and paste text. If you just click and drag your mouse, you're going to underline all these parts. So you can see some of these are texts and some of these are images. So let's say that I want to copy this image right here. Now I can click and drag to make sure that I'm selecting only that image, or I can just go right click and open up this menu, which is from the browser. Now, I'm sorry this is in Italian, but it's really easy to understand. You will find it really easy in your own language. But what you see here is copy image. Or you can also copy the address of the image. Or you can copy the text if it has like hidden text from the image. Or you can save the image as. Now, these are really different, but they can all be used to do pretty similar things. Now, if you save the image as, you can see you can download it, and I've already done that. You can see right here. And this is a logo with a transparent background, by the way. So it's a PNG image. So usually when you have a transparent background, we are talking about PNG as a format. So you can save it like this. I already saved this, but I'm going to just override it. There you go. So it's going to be downloaded and saved into that folder. Or you can select this and do Control C, which means that you're going to copy the image. Or you can copy the address. Let's copy the address, URL address, and I just paste it in a new page. So you can see this is the address of this image in the remote world of the internet. So I can get all these string here and right click and say copy, and I can bring it also into GIMP. So I can either copy and paste the image directly, Control C, or I can get it from the URL. Now let's go back to GIMP and see the differences. So I'm here back into the composition, and let's do here, first of all, the simplest thing of all, which is Control V. So you can see it's spaced in here the image. Or and to make it stay, you can just click outside with the left mouse and it's going to be there. There you go. So you can see now it's embedded with this file. So it's part of this file now, of this image right here. Now we can also go to edit, by the way, and we can copy and paste also from here, and you can see the shortcut keys. So Control C, like any other part of your computer, you can copy, or from the web browser, you can Control C copy, Control V paste, paste in place, copy the visible right here that we have and paste it, and so on. So we have all this copy and paste. I'm gonna get back to this also in another video. Let's go to create. Now, if we do create from Clipboard, what it's gonna do is create a new document and copy and paste that information that was stored in the clipboard, and now it just pastes it right here. So when we do Control C, it's gonna save the information, whatever it is, if it's a text, an image, and it's gonna bring it here when we do Control V, or copy and paste to clipboard. So I just created a new file with different file size and so on. And by the way, you can also create new templates. So if you like this setting, you can go to File and create a template. If we go down here, so create template, let's call these logo size and say OK. So when I do a new document, File, New, I can choose between the other templates and the one that I've just created, logo size. So it's going to have the size and the settings of this image right here, but it's going to be empty. It doesn't have any image. So it's just for the starting of the sizing of what you need to do. Now I want to bring this in my composition, so I can do edit and use again copy, or also copy visible, and I come back here to my composition. Let's add a new layer from down here. So I click on this little button, create a new layer. Don't worry about anything. We're gonna come back here in another video. Just want to create a new simple layer right here, and now let's Control V. So it's gonna paste that again from this file in here, and I can also move it. Let's say I want to move it right here, and again click when you're ready to place it somewhere. So just do like this, and now it's in this last layer that it's on the top. Now if I move this around, you can see that it's not having a background. So I can do photo montage. I can overlap this just like a logo, and it will not overwrite everything. It doesn't have the background. So this is why it's pretty good to save images without backgrounds, to create these like applied graphics, overlapping graphics. Okay, now let's go again here to File. So we explore all the possibility from here. Now another thing you can do is open location. So remember when we had the URL address, we can paste it right here. So underline the URL, right click, copy, or Control C, and then come back here, Control V, and there it is. Okay, so it's going to take some time, but there it is. So we can, again, create a new document, but using the URL address. So you have different ways to do things that are pretty similar. Now let's finish with this first menu, and we're going to continue with the other menus in the following lesson. So you can overwrite the image that is right now open. You can also, if we, well, let's save this composition. I'm gonna go to Save As, and this is gonna be the source file. Now, another extra tip I want to give you is how to create new folders here, so that you don't always need to navigate into your computer and get that folder that you really use a lot often. So if you go here, and so if you navigate, let's say I want to navigate to this one right here that I'm going to use many times. So let's save it with the plus. So now I'm not gonna spend more time navigating. I just click here and I'm gonna save my source file. So this is GIMP XCF. So it's gonna be lesson 03 dot XCF. Now you have extra options down here. We can also show all the files that are in this folder or only the source files. And this is really important because when I save a source file, I can come back here and change things with the layers and with the other things that are editable. So let's save this, and this is going to be the source file. Now, if I do instead of the source file, if I export with another format, so let's do Control E or export, and I'm gonna save it first in JPEG. So I'm gonna change this. I can get it from this list. You can see there are different formats here. You have the name on the left and the extension on the right. So other important one are like EPS or GIF, or you have like HTML also, or this is JPEG right here. And then you have things for printing and also Photoshop image, PSD, which is the source file format of Photoshop. And then you have also TIFF and Targa for printing. But right now, let's get JPEG. So I can select it from this list, or I can type their JPG, and it's going to be the same exact thing. So when I'm ready, I'm going to save by exporting, and it's going to be in the same folder, and you change the quality. So if you can decrease the quality and have a smaller file, or you can increase the quality, you're going to have a bigger file. And then you have other stuff here, but it's more advanced, so just export. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use PNG because we don't want the background, the black background. So turn off the background. You can see the checkerboard, and that's where the transparency will be. So I'm going to go to File, and again, Export, Control E, or Export As, because right now, if we do this, we're going to overwrite. So we don't want to overwrite. We want to create a new one. We're going to go to Export As, and we're going to change to PNG. Again, just change the letters here, PNG. And let's save these also, export. And again, here we have some options, some parameters. Now we have compression level. So the more it's compressed, the smaller will be. The less it's compressed, the bigger will be. So you can also find something in between. You need to do some tests, and you can see the size. So if you go here to File, Open, you can see here you have the name and the size. So you can see that PNG it's bigger than JPEG. Not too big, but way too bigger, but just a little bit bigger. And this is the source file, which is also pretty big, but it's editable. So now let's close everything. I'm gonna close everything, and let me just go here and do close all. So I'm gonna close all the views. I'm gonna discard the changes, and let's see what happened. So if I go to File and open a source file like the XCF, there you go. I will be able to select the various layers like this one here or this one here, and I can edit everything as many times as I want. If I open up the JPEG, for example, let's open the JPEG, I can only move one single file, one single image. Everything is kind of merged into one file, so I cannot edit everything. The composition cannot be edited. I can only work on this image. So this is the main difference, really important, between the source file and the final file, the finalized image. And then let's see the PNG. So I'm gonna File, Open, PNG. So again, it's gonna be just a single image, but the only difference here is that I have a transparent background. So I can still edit, I can do a photo montage really quick. So it's a little bit better. So if I do like open, and let me open another file here. There you go. So I can, well, I can copy this and paste it there. So I'm gonna do Control C and come here and do Control V. And so let's click on this little button. So it's gonna create a new layer, and I can click and drag down. So it's gonna go in the background. So this is why having a transparent background, it's really handy. So three different formats, three different solutions. And also one last thing we can do is if we go down here is to print. So we can set up the page here, page setup. So let's say that we only have a A4 sheet. We can set up, we can make it vertical or horizontal. Let's make it horizontal, A4. And since I don't have a printer, I can only print here digital PDF, printed PDF. So I'm gonna print, clicking here, and I'm gonna save it again as lesson 03, but this is gonna be PDF. So let's save it. Now, if I navigate into the folder where I'm saving all these different formats, you can see this is lesson 03 PDF. So you can see it's gonna be saved as this. And probably it's better to do some previews before you print. Otherwise, you don't know how actually it's gonna be inserted into the blank page. And also we can see the lesson 03. This is the PNG. So you can see it's transparent right here. It's different from this one, which you can see it has a visible background. So this one here is transparent, and you can see it here. You can see it also if you drop it here, that you're gonna see whatever is behind that. So that's the difference. If I want to continue my work, I will open the source file, which is characterized by the little fox here, the head. So I'm gonna double click on that, and it's gonna open up the source file where I can still edit everything, especially the position of the various graphic elements and so on. Now to completely finish here, we also have the copy image location. So this is gonna copy to the clipboard the location of the file, of the source file. And if you do show in file manager, it's gonna open the image where that source file have been stored. And if I click up here on Windows and I do Control V, you can see this is the address, which is not remote, it's local, that I've just copy and paste. So when I do copy image location, that's the address right there, the image location address. So this will be all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to stay updated. And if you want to support us, if you want to thank us, you can join the channel as a supporter. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson.